Go on, let's get going, shall we?
Trends at 12-ish.
Trends at 12, where somebody comes in and they talk to me about, I suppose, what's going on in the local paper, what's going on in social media, and what's really important to them.
What I really want to talk about, Eddie, if I may, is that London is soaking in jazz in preparation for the London Jazz Festival. Are you going to take part in the London Jazz Festival this year?
Is this you?
Yeah, well, I am in it. I am doing 2 shows at the London Jazz Festival. But what I want to talk about...
So before you get into it, can we just explain to everybody what it is?
What, the London Jazz Festival?
Do not give... I know what that means.
Okay.
I don't want any attitude in here, please.
Okay.
Just tell everybody. Not me, because I know.
Okay, so the London Jazz Festival is a citywide jazz festival that features... that has got over 400 concerts featuring probably around 2,000 musicians, performers.
Big deal.
80 venues across the capital.
Do we still love jazz?
That's what I want to talk about. So, and it's a festival that goes on for over 10 days, for 10 days rather, from the 10th to the 19th of November. So even though the festival hasn't started yet, London is soaking in jazz because all these musicians and all these performers are filling up the rehearsal studios. It's happening now. The vibe is happening now. And it's massive. And the reason I want to talk about it is because jazz isn't a thing of the past. Jazz is something that is current. There's a new dawn of singer-songwriter jazz in particular that I'm interested in. So I began an organisation called UK Jazz Plus. And the reason I began that organisation was because I wanted to spotlight the growing number of singer-songwriters who are using jazz as their basis for creating this kind of new narrative in jazz. They're talking about story songs from their own cultural perspectives. They're writing about their political, economic circumstances, social circumstances, their ethnic circumstances. They're a new breed of writers who are writing about current issues. They're creating this beautiful hybrid music, which is incorporating jazz with rap and hip hop or indie or classical or country even, or pop. There are so many different artists that are incorporating jazz within other genres, and they're moving the genre of jazz forward, but more importantly, that they're telling this new story. They're telling us there's a new storytelling in jazz, and that's all I am trying to promote. And fortunately for us, Rich Mix, on your very own doorstep in East London, fantastic venue, who boasts to be about culture for a changing city, and it really, really does do what it says on the tin. It's supporting UK Jazz Plus, and it's saying, yes, we recognise this is a new movement. We want to give it a home. So this our gig on the 11th of November at the Rich Mix is all about celebrating the launch of UK Jazz Plus at Rich Mix, and that collaboration, which is going to spotlight and platform these new jazz singer-songwriters. I think it's a very exciting time, and there's an abundance of jazz courses. You probably know, in the 80s...
If I asked you to define jazz in a word, how could you?
I don't think you could define it in one word. I think jazz is about...
A phrase, a sentence.
It's about a harmonic language, it's about rhythms, and it's about improvisation.
But it's always innovative. It must
Always.
be because
it's an evolving genre.
Because of what it is and where it comes from.
Yeah.
It is of the moment, whatever that moment is. I remember a long time ago in Bristol, I used to go to a jazz pub. They used to play every Sunday. It is perhaps the challenge with some of the live venues, a challenge to the music form itself.
It is, because what we think about as jazz. I think when we think name me a well-known jazz singer, we always think of Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and all those old times. And they sing the American Songbook, which is a fantastic source of music. It's a brilliantly rich storytelling form of music, and that's what we think of as jazz singers. However, it's changing. as I said, you know, like in the 60s, Nina Simone came along and said, well, I'm a singer. I'm not a pop singer. I'm a singer. And I guess I'm kind of jazzy because I use harmonic
And a
language of
piano,
jazz.
yes.
But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to sing about flying to the moon and Lady is a Tramp and all that. It doesn't relate to me. I'm going to sing about my history, my culture. She wrote Mississippi Goddamn. She wrote Young, Gifted and Black. She started to write all these wonderful songs that were telling a story. And I feel that
and we're back there.
we're back there now, and it's so
our
exciting.
story.
Yes,
and
in our
so
British
if I
story.
wanted to
Yeah.
find out more about the festival itself, do you know if there's a website?
Yes, EFG London Jazz Festival. You can find out about all the 400 gigs that they've got on. You can also find out on the Rich Mix website. You can also find out on ukjazzplus.co.uk website and on my website, marthalewis.co.uk.
Well, I'll tell you what, when they're trying to get rid of Paul but from doing this, but while we're still got him, why don't we try and work out doing a little bit? Because I don't think we've ever had, have we, Paul? Not on this show. We haven't had any live music on this show. I know they've done it in the afternoon, and I know they've certainly done it in the morning. Let's work something out. But come here with something good. Don't come here with any nonsense.
Well, I would never do that.
Listen, it's great having you in.
Thank
Got to
you.
come back. Well, come back and do your thing. Yeah?
I'd love to.
Is that all
love
right?
to. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
You're great.
God bless.
Hi, Bill Sheldrake with the BBC Radio London Travel. A few issues on the M25.